roof by extrusion. This one is a little bit different because it can be only done in section, elevation, or 3D. You cannot do it in floor plans or ceiling plans. So how it works? If you want to do roof by extrusion, you have to choose a reference plane or work plane where the sketch of the roof will be sketched. For this you can use three things, and this can be either the face of existing elements, grid lines, or reference plane. So let's take a look on all of them. So first we will start with the face of existing geometry, let's say this roof. And let's create a section here so we will be more easily able to draw it. And let's go to 3D view so you will see better what is for me to choose from. And let's say I would go to roof by extrusion, and now I would select pick a plane option. So you can see that it highlights me the faces or the surfaces I can choose. So I would choose this one. I would set my roof to be on the level 2 with 0 offset. Now I can go to my section view and I can just sketch the roof. And now comes the big difference between roof by extrusion and roof by footprint, because if I would try to do something like this to form a closed loop, you can see that now I get an error that extrusion of the roof sketch must be open. So in this instance, when I'm using the roof by extrusion, it must be opened, but when I'm using the roof by footprint, it must be closed loop. So I would sketch something like this, press OK to finish, and you can see that it created a roof which was created from the sketch, and it was extruded along the path which is perpendicular to my work plane. So let's see it back in the section view. I will turn this curve region off. So if I double click it, you can see that my sketch is making the upper part of the roof, and my roof, which is 125 millimeters, is offsetting downward from this sketch, like this. Now, because it is hosted on this edge, if I move this edge, let's say like this, actually the whole roof will move with it. Or if I move this element, you can see that it is moving whole roof because they are associated. Okay, so the next possibility how to create it is by using the grid line. So let's say I would make a grid here, and now I want to use, let's create another section like this, and let's say that now I want to use this work plane as base for my sketch for the roof by extrusion. So now I can choose here from the name, the grid, my grid number 2, and level 2, offset 0. I would sketch the roof again. And now you can see that it is associated with my grid. So now, again, if I move the grid, the whole roof moves with it. So the last possibility how to create it is by using the reference plane. Under the architecture tab, you have a reference plane. And let's say that I would create something like this. And again, I would create a section view to be able to easily sketch it. I would go to the section view, turn off the crop region, roof by extrusion. So now I need to select it. If I want to select it from the name, you can see that I don't have a reference plane here. So that's strange. There are two ways how to be able to select it. One way is to create a roof by extrusion, pick a plane, and using my reference plane from the level, and then go to the section view to sketch it. So this way you can see that I can create it. And now I have my roof, which is referenced to this reference plane. Or the other way how to do it, which I think is better way to actually do it, is to name this plane, let's say roof 1. So everyone will know that this reference plane is actually being used for something because it is named. And now if I go to section view and I go to roof by extrusion, now I can choose from the name my reference plane, which is named roof 1. So in the previous example, I couldn't do it because the reference plane was not named, but as soon as I name it, I can actually choose it from here. So I would choose my reference plane, roof 1, level 2, 0, and now I will draw my extrusion like this, so you can see that it works. And now it is hosted on this element, so if I move it, you can see that it is moving with this reference plane. Or maybe I could just draw it better. Let's say if I go like, or I would change the view range here. Let's go to 2050. Yeah, now you can see it. So if I move my roof, you can see, sorry, if I move my reference plane, you can see that I move my roof with it. So let's change it back, the view range as it was. The next thing in the roof, which is created by extrusion, is this thing, extrusion start and extrusion end. Let's see it better on this example where it is referenced on the grid. So you can see that extrusion start is 0 and extrusion end is 6000 something. Let's put it to 6000. In my level, you can see it that it is from here 6000. And there is one rule in Revit, which is for the positive and negative direction, which can be found here. Under the drafting views, I put an image here where you can see that this is my face, and that way it's positive and this way is negative numbers. So here you can see that I use this one, so this way is positive, this way is negative. So if I go to this direction, you can see that I get negative numbers. And as you can see that I can use my shape handlers to be able to change it, or I can use my align tools. Another thing is that if I want to change my reference for this roof, let's say that I do not want it to be referenced on this one, but on something else, I can do it by editing the work plane or by picking new work plane. If I use pick new work plane, I can choose also a face. So let's say that I would now host it on this face, and you can see that it rehosts it, or I can host it back again to my work plane, which will be grid 2. So now it is back on the grid 2. Or I could do the same with this one. So basically, if you want to rehost it, you should use either edit work plane or pick new commands.